channel. We're going to try this again. Hello, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I have a special guest here with me, Lovely. So I'll give a little background information before I let her introduce herself. So I've known Lovely for years. Like I can't really put a number on it. So we go way back to the church days. Lovely was one of the older youth, and when I was a kid, making you sound.
I'm not old though.
When I was younger, and she was one of those younger, older ones that I used to look up to. I used to sit down next to her, and her bag was always full of like nice smelling stuff. So I used to sit down next to her just to go through her bag and roam and spray her stuff. And she had the way she took care of herself is how I inspired to be as a younger kid, as a younger girl looking up to someone older, always smelling nice, looking good. So that's a little history about me and love. So I leave Lovely introduce herself, and I'll go into the reason why I'm bringing her to the channel today. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, love.
Hey, I'm Lovely. I was born in St. Martin, Haitian
Boom, boom.
Bangor.
Bam bam.
Sac passé.
Na boule.
Okay, I'm a single mom. I have a boy. His name is Joshua. Big up to Joshy.
In the background
Yes.
playing.
He's 4 years old. So yeah, I'm loving it.
Okay. So well, she already told you she's a single parent. That's the reason why I asked her here on my channel, just to talk about her experience as a parent, and the good, the great, the good, and some of the not so good aspects of it. Because one of the things I did say, I want to have different persons on my channel so I can hear their information. So she already answered. Well, she said she has one boy, handsome little one. Yes, full of chats. So tell me, how has the parenthood experience been for you?
Well, it was a bit challenging, when you don't know something. Like, it's not something. He's my son, okay?
So
It's-
let me start better.
okay.
So Joshua is how old now?
He's 4.
Okay, you did say that. So he's 4 years old. Okay, so what's the difference from now compared to when you first found out that you were gonna have a kid? Like, how was that experience? Like the train of thought. Were you sazy, in shock, or were you like?
Okay, I was sazy and shocked. Like, I was kind of shocked, yes. But I always wanted a child. I was happy that I had a child. It was a mixed emotion. I didn't know how to go about it. I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, I already knew that he was gonna be a boy from before. I don't know why. It's just an instant thought, and I got what I wanted. So yeah.
Okay. So how has that changed for you?
Okay, the change, it made me think about life differently. That I have someone to live for, and I want to be a better parent. Let me say it like that. I want him to have better education than I. I also want good for him, and to teach him about life, not to be like our parent generation, let me say it like that. I want to also be his friend, that he can relay on me and talk. Yes, so being a parent, it have taught me a lot. Like, you don't think about yourself anymore. You think of them being the better future, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe, looking back now, do you think that you were prepared for being a parent? Do you think that someone could ever be prepared for parenthood?
No, I don't think so. Because I was not prepared, actually. I was actually living my young, wild life.
Wild?
When I mean wild, not wild like crazy, but traveling. Like, I had nothing to worry about. I had no, how to say that?
well, not big responsibilities.
Well, I had responsibilities,
It's
but
big.
it wasn't. Yeah, I know you meant big, but not some like not something that you have to think about before you make a move. So like before I do something, I will actually think about my son
Mhm.
and then do it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's no longer myself anymore.
So that's a big change for you now.
Yes.
Okay. Um. So what would you say? Before I go even into that, what does your support system look like?
Okay, support system. I'm being both actually. It's kind of tough, to be
Mhm.
honest, to be a mom and a dad at the same time,
Mhm.
because you will hear your child regardless try to talk about their dad, and you just have to be open, not lying about it.
Mhm.
But I think the children do notice, like they are smart,
Yeah.
regardless they are smart. So my support system is, it's good. Like I
Mhm.
always said, I'm not the only one that can raise my son.
Mhm.
If I have a close friend like Christine, for
Mhm.
example, and she see Joshua do something, she don't have to wait for my approval
Mhm.
to correct him. I just want him to know that I'm not the only one can correct him. Anybody else can tell him this is not the right thing to do. So my support system, I will say it's good. I'm
Okay.
not the only one with God.
Oh, girl.
Thanks.
Thank God. Because I do believe like having a great support system in place is very important. Because at the end of the day, any individual, we can't do everything all by ourselves. You know, we need somebody to help us. Um, you know, do certain things. Although maybe yes, the father may not be as active as you would like him to be, but there are friends, there are godparents, family members, and you know sometimes these are the persons that will um, help you be able to raise a child. There's one thing I've heard, like a parable, a saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Although these days I kind of find that everyone is kind of doing their thing on their own, like don't talk to my child or don't. I don't know if it's something that you've noticed yourself too, but like um, back in the days when we were being brought up, you had to respect everybody. You
Exactly.
walking down the street. I grew up in Cable, so mind you, if I walking from home to the shop, everybody that I meet, I have to say good afternoon. To come back, I say good afternoon, and this is something that is still instilled in me. Although back then I didn't really like the being the village raising because it's like they're minding my business, but at the end of the day, it's for your own good,
Exactly.
you know. But of course, as a person that is approaching these kids, if you see them doing something out of the way, is how you talk to them, you know, because sometimes you talk to the child is like madichon, is like you cursing the child out, is how you speak to them that makes a big difference. So that support system, like growing up in the island, that's something we were raised doing, but it's not something that I see is being continued.
Well, with me, my son tells everybody good morning. If he do not, I'll force him saying good morning. So he has to say good morning regardless, because morning for me is very important. Greeting somebody is very important to
Respecting
me.
them.
Respect, because you don't know where you will fall,
True.
and by you falling there, this person, oh, she just passed me there and she didn't say good morning, I will help her. I find that greeting somebody by saying good morning, manners, basically, it's very important in a
Yes.
child life. So I'm doing that, and hopefully that he keeps this direction.
The way you raise a child, usually they don't stem away from it. They might deviate sometimes and rebel, but those core things, those morals, these core values, they usually tend to it um, as they get older. So, good job. So, one thing that I do want to ask too is that what challenges do you face as a mom, a single mom?
Okay, challenges I face is that yeah, it's always good to me, and this is what I would say, and maybe I didn't listen to my parents, let me say it that way. It's always good that um you brought up your child in a family home, because regardless you're a single mom, you're doing both, yes, but you still know that child need a balance.
Yeah.
They also need a male and a female. The male also has the power to actually make them stable and know that if they try to go above this level, that it needs to go down, which is with a mom, I don't know, there are some mom like they're very tough and some that are soft, but it's the balance again. Like with a mom, maybe many might attest to what I'm saying, that a child, when they're raised with their mom, there's certain like how barriers they don't respect, even though you tell them no, they still try to test your faith. So and this way it has its hiccup as well. So yeah.
Okay, so the challenges is basically not having that authoritative figure in the household.
Yes.
And that's something I do agree on. I mean, I haven't reached to that step yet, but it's something that I see that is important. But sometimes too, okay, you said the family household. Sometimes you do have the guy in the house and they're not so active in the child's life, or they're not. Okay, so you said basically how you explained it is a man. He's more like the authoritative figure in the household.
Yes.
So in a family dynamic, it is important to have the both of the parents in there because it provides a balance for the kid.
Yes.
And what I was trying to say initially was that sometimes you have the father figure in the house. They do the whole authoritative thing, but they don't really have a relationship with the kid like that. And I'm speaking from my experience. Like me and my father, we like, I know he's in the house and we talk, but I didn't have a close relationship with him. And there are times you hear that the parents, they say do this, do that, and do that, but their actions don't level up to what you're telling me to do. So it's like, do what I say, don't do what I do.
That's why you need to have this communication skill with your child, meaning when you tell them not to do something, you give them the reason why not to do it. You don't just tell them don't do
it because
it.
I say so.
Yeah, because for me, by telling me don't do it, I will have this in behind my head. Let me try and see why is she telling me not to do it. You understand? So my son automatically does ask why. He been asking anything you tell him, he asks you why. So you have to have an answer. And if you do not have that answer, he will not stop asking you why. And I hate hearing why. So yeah, therefore, I think it's good to communicate and explain them the reason of not to do something or why they have to do it this way.
Asking why is a great skill for him to have, to be honest. I hope he continues to have that throughout his life. But what I was trying to bring across is that sometimes growing up, they wouldn't tell us why. It was because I say so, then that was all the reason that you needed to know. If you even had the guts to even ask your parents why. Coming from a Haitian background, for you to ask me why, and I just tell you, that's me telling you reasons enough. But kids, or even like, I'm talking from my experience growing up, parents, you would see your parents say certain things, but we're watching the actions, we're watching what you're doing, and that has more of an effect on us than just you telling us don't do this. I didn't even want to get into. Okay, I'll go into that. So growing up, I didn't. As I said, I grew up in the church, and my parents didn't really go out like that, but they would go to Heineken Regatta. Specifically my dad, but my dad wasn't a church goer like that. So he would go to Heineken Regatta, and I was like, okay, Heineken Regatta isn't bad. So like Carnival, it wasn't something that I would participate in because I didn't grow up going to it. And so whenever Carry Me, like for example, will come and play at the Carnival Village, I find that I can go, because if we can go to Heineken Regatta, why can't I go? Like that wasn't making sense to me because I seen you going and you telling me, oh, I can't go. So when I reached a certain age, that was like rebellion for the Haitian community, because I was rebelling around the age of 18. Very, very late.
I was too.
Very late, but that's just an example of what it is to do it from, like, you're saying certain things, but your actions are saying different, you know? So, what other questions did I have? What do you find that in St. Martin single mothers have support? If not, what would you guys need as a support? You find if
Okay. Support. Yes and no.
okay.
I would say yes because many of us, there's a lot of young parents. They have their mom or dad there, so they could always well put their child or
They
bring
could
their
help
child
out,
yeah to
yes.
help out.
Care.
Um, no, like people like me. Um, what's this one? What? I tried to get this out. The no is that you just have to figure it out. Like um it's a human being, the child born with his own character already.
True.
So you have to know that person. It's an extra work. So you have to get to know this new person, even though you make him. But remember, you make him, he has his free of will.
Yeah.
So you have to know his how to say that, his weakness. You have to find that. And when you do find this, and this is where you can maybe talk to him. I don't know if I answered right, but if I don't, you can re-ask it in a different manner so I
Okay.
could correct it.
Okay, no problem. So, okay, in a sense, so I'm gonna go use this question, and hopefully it could help guide you towards where I'm going with
Okay.
this question. So, for example, we have a pandemic. So pandemic, things happen, and not you having a pandemic. There isn't a pandemic, and there are certain things that maybe Kale that you may need assistance with. Do you find that women, single mothers have assistance when it comes to like childcare?
Before I do it,
Say hello to Joshua, guys. You going back to play? After, say hello. You know you like a camera. Come here. Say hi to this handsome guy.
But say hi.
Now you want to play shy? Look at this smile.
Say hi.
Hola.
Hola.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Okay.
Ça va? Et toi? Et moi?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So what did you come for?
A big food, I think a big Mustang. No, this.
Okay, go play now.
So do you feel that, let's say with Kale, that a single parent is being considered, let's say even with creche, daycare, like these are things like mothers, single mom are being considered in those aspects?
I would say no, but the daycare as well, they have their own life, so
True.
I don't think there's their job to do everything. I would say the parents should have some time to and do take time to teach their children.
Okay.
Let me say it like that.
So it shouldn't depend on like government care or
No.
St. Martin. So just, you made a friend? Hi. How are you? Joshua.
You got that one. Look at what
Okay.
she called him the mommy, and he coming back to like her.
You just have to introduce yourself. You have to say, my name is Joshua. Okay?
Josh.
Okay, Joshua, I video, I recorded. Okay?
Kids love a camera. Okay, so basically the care should come from
Home.
home. Okay.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
That's my personal view.
Okay. I don't have a
But
kid.
the only thing is just that certain things, maybe like young parents, they don't have that support system, but they can always talk to younger youths who are experienced model what they do, because I did ask few questions in my beginning of
Okay.
having my son.
Okay. So that was one of the steps you took
Yes,
towards
I
preparation.
took.
Preparing.
I used to ask
Preparing.
um older persons, and they would tell me it was the mother authority would just come since the child is born. You would just have this come. It would just come naturally, because I used to, when I was pregnant, I was actually looking for it. I just didn't know how to get this mother,
Like the instinct.
of the motherhood, like, but it do come eventually.
Okay.
But it's a lot of things that you can also ask experienced mother what they do about. They have Google. They had a chart. I used to go on. Well, this website is called, it calls parenting, I think, and it would explain you about the toddler how to go about it. Like, instead of saying no, no, no all the time, you just tell them why not to do it. Because if you tend to tell them no, the toddler will go. Anything you say no, 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 they wouldn't. That's the first thing you hear toddlers say.
That is
You would
true.
tell them
No.
no, they would just say no. But if you do talk to them and say not to do this, it would be better for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you said that, because that's one thing that I think about. Like, after you have after I have a kid, it's like, how am I going to have this, like, the bond, and just automatically go, and like certain things that you have to do, like, lovely. I wasn't here in St. Martin when you had Joshua. So I haven't really been around kids like that. That's something that I've always thought about, like, how am I going to take care of a child if I'm gonna have all of these, that feeling when the baby comes around, and like, how am I gonna do that? So thank you for saying that, because I was like, I don't know how it's gonna happen, because usually when something happened to the child, I'd have just gave it back to the mother.
I remember what, it's just a joke aside, that my cousin would call me Google say I had a Google baby, because everything I would Google.
You remind me of somebody. We know everything she does Google.
I just Google, but they do help though. They do help. They do help.
But I think too, what Joshua,
I'm talking to
They going now.
Bye.
bye.
You're so pretty.
Yes, you have beautiful eyes.
Bye.
Bye. You see, the kids with manners. I love to
Say
see
bye,
it.
Joshua.
I said already bye.
Okay, one of the great points that I like that you said was that you sought advice from persons that have been a mother for a while, like matured or older folks, and it is important for you to seek wisdom where people already have experience in motherhood. That's a great step that you took, like in everything that you're doing, because it have people that have been there before you that can help you from prevent you from doing stuff that you don't know, or you can just learn from them, although your child is nothing like their own, but you could always learn. So that is a great point that you mentioned. The other thing that I wanted to ask you, I have two more questions before we go, because Joshua I want to go and play. If you had an advice for, like, the younger kids, what would that be?
Okay, my advice to the younger folks: don't just have a child for anybody.
Okay.
Take your time and do enjoy life, because life is beautiful. I'm not saying a child is not blessing. They are a blessing, don't get me wrong, but just get it in the right way. Through my experience, the Bible said that we should wait, like a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
Yes.
And it's true, because if you do go out there and have a child without married,
Mm-hmm.
you tend to find all the loads in you, especially I'm talking of we in church.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a husband is very important,
Mm-hmm.
and if you already had a child or
Mm-hmm.
two child, it doesn't make you less than what you are. You just can correct yourself eventually, but just don't go back and repeat yourself. This is the advice I would get for the youth. So just take your time.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible, it's real. So whatever the Bible is saying, um, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, when I'm saying finding a good thing, a man that find a wife find a good thing, is that you get the balance again. You get the balance. Everything is not gonna go 100% because the Bible never said that we will not get trials in life. We do get it, but it's different when we do it out of marriage.
Covenant.
Yes. So take your time, girls. Take your time. Don't rush nothing. I did a mistake, but I'm not a failure. I'm embracing it, and I ask God for forgiveness every time. I'm not perfect. I'm still in a learning process. Once you have life, you still learning.
Yeah,
It
that
don't
is
matter
true.
how old you are still learning. It can be my it's like it's my message to somebody, because maybe God use me actually maybe this step so I can enlighten somebody. Because if we do have a lot of people that has the good thoughts in their head and start teaching the new generation, because they have some parents, they're not supportive, they don't take time to to
To talk.
talk to their kids. And where it's sad also, let me say, like dad, um some dad, they just there, they don't have a bond with their child. So those child is looking for a male love because they never get it. So they will mostly go to a other guy to get this love, and this is where it's wrong. And people, well, guys usually take advantage. And for the boys them too, because of not getting their father love, when they do get a woman, they don't know how to treat them.
Period.
So if we know better, I think we should teach better
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
our new generation
Oh,
that's
yes,
coming up.
yes, yes.
So that's just my message.
Yes, beautiful. I totally agree with that. It does bring a balance to have both parents in there. The father figure is important so that as a daughter, you know what to look for in a guy, and also having a father for a boy, a young boy growing up, then they know how to treat a woman and also how to be a man, because a woman can never really take a place of a man, nor can a father take a place of a woman, of a mother. So these two aspects is important. So as Lovely was saying, when the Bible refers to certain things, and growing up, we didn't really understand the importance of it, but the Bible has principles and things that we should follow. That is for our own protection. It's not because it wants you to not enjoy certain things in life. It's for us to protect ourselves, protect us from from certain things. And the last question that I'm going to, so great point, but the last question that I'm going to maybe close us off with is, as a mom, how important is self care for yourself when you take time from being a mom, because that's a all day thing. You can't really take a time off, but like, what do you do for yourself, and how important do you believe that self care is for mothers?
Okay, self care is very important, but when you also have a child, you tend to forget yourself, which is bad. And when you do that, you end up falling into depression. And sometimes it's good to take a break. You let your child know you need this little time, even if it's 5 minutes, to just relax, because having a child can be very challenging. And I'm talking based on experience. It had times that I forgot myself, and everything I was focusing is just my child. But thank God I had like background system again, friends that I call angel on earth. That way they would tell me like, lovely, you look so tired. You need to take some time for yourself. You are letting go yourself. And I am happy that I had those people around me to let me know that I was actually forgetting myself. So you tend to do forget yourself, and if you do not take care of yourself, you're gonna be a miserable mom.
Person in general too.
Yes.
So imagine having to, because kids they pick up on energy, and as a parent, I believe, you know, that you should be the safe space for your child. When you take care of a child, when you take care of yourself, you can be a better mom, a better person for your child, a better example. So that's great. That you do take that time, and sometimes we do forget ourselves in being a parent and always being there for your child. But you can't pour from an empty cup. So go take the time that you need. If you have to, place them by someone that you trust, then you do that, and then you take that hour that you need for yourself, and then you come back and be that great mom, the bomb mom that you are. And so that's the last question that I had. Do you have anything that you would like to say before we end?
No, I think I have said it all.
All right, so I thank you so much for
You're
coming to my
welcome.
channel. Again, this is the purpose of doing these kind of interviews, because I do believe that everyone has a story to tell. And as Lovely said, her circumstances, her situation, she went through it for a reason. So nothing happens just for so. And our stories are meant to be told, our testimonies are meant to be told, because you don't know who it'll be able to help during that time. And this is all that we have today. Have a blessed and a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.
Say
Say
bye.
bye, Joshua. Say bye. Say
Yeah.
bye. Say bye.
Bye.